Hi, and welcome back to the Business Show. I'm Michael Whittington, and I'm joined in the studio with Andrew Stewart. How are you, Andrew?
I'm very well, thanks, Michael. Thanks for inviting me in.
Oh, very welcome. Look, I suppose a lot of us have been, we get this exposure to the internet, and there's so many things going on out there. And I think the old-fashioned values, and especially when it comes to relationship values, are really coming back into vogue when we're dealing with people, and probably no more so than when we're outsourcing and bringing in a specialist into our area. The relationship factor and the benefits of that and the benefits of using a specialist are really now coming to the forefront. And people are going, tell me more. And that's why I got you, because you're from Pacific Finance, so you've actually stepped out of just using a particular bank manager. You are a freelance bank manager or a private banking manager, and the benefits of that are enormous. So that's why I wanted to call you in and just have a talk about those benefits of outsourcing to a specialist like yourself.
Oh, thanks, Michael. Thanks for that introduction. I guess it's so true that something really resonated with what you said, that being in this modern, internet age where we can reach out and grab any one of 500 different providers for the same, ostensibly, advice that we think we need. There's actually a different quality behind all of those in that selection, and it's very important to find a resonation with whom you're receiving the advice, and that's because not all of the advice is the same. What is it? Oils ain't oils.
Oils ain't oils. We were actually talking off air, and we had a bit of a little private chat. We've known each other for a while now, and I was saying to Andrew one of the differences I pick up in him, because he's actually run businesses, and he's had his own business, and quite large businesses, by the way, and he's actually had to get finance for himself, for equipment and growth and all the things that we go through. And I said, when I talk to you, it comes through. Yes, you know all the technicalities and all the rules and the regulations about money lending, and you've got access to God knows how many lenders. Don't know how you get your mind around it all.
Yeah, hundreds.
Hundreds of. But what strikes me about you, and one of the benefits of getting someone like you, is the benefit that really resonates with me is that personal experience and the empathy you've got with the person and the business owner that's going, I need assistance here. And it just seems to me that quality, and we're talking about different specialists, they're the types of qualities that I would look for.
Well, you've got to be a team player. You've got to be able to work with your client as a tight-knit team. So, yeah, I guess it's the values that I was brought up on that I bring to my everyday business.
So when someone's getting in, because I do want to let people know, get into this, the benefits of bringing in a specialist, from your perspective, how would you see it?
Everybody knows a little bit about something, and I know a little bit about accounting, and I know a little bit about law, but you know what? I'm really not proficient in those areas. And in the same way, I would argue that neither of those disciplines would know about finance.
No.
And in the same argument, I'd say that the bank manager, in the traditional sense, coming from one of the big, major banks or whatever, those guys equally aren't able to provide the level of service and insight that any particular small or medium business owner would need.
No. And one thing I will comment about the banks from my experience, and they're very generalistic, about the only time they really start, in my experience, that they really start to get into some nitty-gritty is, say, like in agriculture, where we'll have an agricultural banker. But even then, they're very much just numbers and profit-based, and relationships with clients, I'm not too sure, because the banks themselves, because they're a big business, they move people around.
Yeah, they do. And we touched on the 100 different lenders and products that I have available. A representative from a particular organisation has only got their suite to offer, so it limits them down. So if I was to give an example of where I've been able to add value by providing something alternative to what they're currently being offered. I had an example where there was two private companies, and they both had separate banking relationships. They were coming together to do a third project together.
Yep.
So these guys, it was a discrete project, and they all had existing relationships, but they recognised that the new organisation, the new business, was optimal to then go to market to find who would be able to best placed to provide that. So,
Yeah.
excuse me, that's where the independence of the broker was able to add a third or a different dimension of thought to it. But it also added a different aspect to the process whereby it was a more robust and independent project management approach to obtaining that finance, which
I suppose it's what you said to me before. One of the things that we talked about before, and because we don't script this, so I kind of put you on the spot a little bit, I know that, but you talked about tastes, and certain lenders have got certain tastes, and like one bank maybe love agriculture, but the other bank says, that's not for us. And I guess in business we're the same. What you'll do as a private bank, when you come into a situation, there's going to be complexities in there that certain lenders are going to shy away from, and other lenders are going to say, no, that's okay. We just want to see where our opportunities are. And I think what your eyes, and this is something I alluded to before, because you've had your own business, and I think this really adds a real power to your analysis of things. You look at it from your perspective. Some of the questions you ask people, it's almost as if you're asking them of yourself. You're almost putting yourself there and going, if this is me, what would I want to know myself before I even borrowed the money?
Yes, look, absolutely. It is that level of experiential learning that comes to the consultation, if you like, adds quite a different depth to it. But something you touched on, which was, there's a couple of different axes to the matrix of the lend. So it might be the solution might involve 4 or 5 different lenders.
Yeah.
And because the solution involves 4 or 5 different products, and in amongst their 4 different products, but there also might be 4 different or 2 different lenders, but across 4 products. There's a whole combination which we go to synthesise the optimal solution.
And I think that's when we're talking about independent specialists coming in, and this is one thing I get from you, because I guess you get emotionally involved from a sense of knowledge base and empathy base, but not emotionally involved that you put the blinkers on and go, everything's gold and rosy. You're able to still look above the whole project and go, okay, where if I was putting it together, I'd go, look, Andrew, I just need money for this, this, and this, and I would probably treat it as one thing. Yeah. Where because of your skill sets, you would say, well, actually, Michael, if I looked at that, look, they're actually 4 different things. No, maybe one lender would lend all 4, but more likely, you're going to need a better option here, a better option there, and let's have a team approach.
Absolutely. Yeah. And another benefit is that I get the speed and the action that the client demands and is needing.
Yes.
They don't want to park it and have it, someone to get back to it in a little while. They need immediate and clear, decisive course of action and the execution of that plan. So that's I get that.
Yeah. So when you're talking, because that's a really interesting scenario, it may apply to some, may not apply to others, but I think generally so we can have a look at those types of scenarios. That's why I like your case studies. You can look at them and go, okay, it doesn't quite apply to me, but what lessons can I take out of it? When you had a look at that situation and they were lending on like 3 or 4 different things, what are some of the challenges for getting the finance when it's that kind of situation?
Without getting too bogged down in the technicalities of the product, but some might take as security the debtors, whereas some might take as security land or buildings. Some might be prepared to lend money on the basis of a project or the income which hasn't yet even been made.
Right.
So some might just do it on the bank statements and seeing what flows in and out every month and go, we're prepared to lend on this basis X, X number of thousands of dollars, just on what that's in on the bank statements, and with no security. So, depending on what it might be a combination of all those to maximise the security, which feeds into price, that we can come up with.
When you go, because I suppose your job's challenging all the time, when you come against a case study like that, and that's a real life project for yourself, what do you learn from it? Is it, and because you always told me you always learn different things at different stages. When you put something like that together, when you step out, you must go, oh, well, I achieved it, that was great. But what are some of the learnings that you kind of go, I'll remember that for next time, that was good?
Well, I learn every day that I love my job because those challenges are presented every day, and well, I just get a kick out of it. It's like they're my own projects, and so I learn that there is no one single example that is the same. They are all absolutely different, and so there never be a cookie cutter approach.
Yeah,
that's why I love my job. There's no cookies, and it's not meat and potatoes. It's I don't know.
You don't know what's coming up next. It's a challenge every day. Yeah, I think that for one, if you're looking for a benefit of specialists, you want to get someone that actually loves the challenges and doesn't go, oh my God, it's a headache. You actually just thrive in this area. It must be really rewarding when you have to use your own, not only your own knowledge and skill sets, but that creativity to be able to look at things from different angles and different approaches. That must just be a buzz for the day.
Well, I guess we're all lucky, aren't we, the diversity of the human race, and that everybody's good at one little thing or another, and that together, collectively, we all kind of work.
Andrew, if someone's watching this, and I'm obviously conscious of your time, but if someone's watching this and they're going, I like what I'm hearing, and they feel like, look, I've got finances in place at the moment, I don't know if they're right, because I kind of just put them together like some of us do, hold my hand up, in a bit of a mishmash as we go along. And maybe we're looking for a new review and make sure.
That's all right, Mark.
Hey, I'm honest. We just go, I need this, you just throw it all together in a big melting pot and go,
I'm used to that. That's okay.
Yeah, you're used to that. Someone's there, or they're going on one of these new projects and they're going, geez, there's a few complexities here. What's the best way of contacting yourself, Andrew? Just for that initial chat, because I know you like to talk to people initially.
Oh, I think just would be just calling in on the phone. Would be absolutely the easiest thing.
And right on the spot, and I did this to a telephone guy one time. I said, what's your phone number? And he couldn't remember it.
Oh, I got it.
You got it down.
042 775 735.
Oh, that's because it's easy.
Yeah. It's just got a lot of sevens.
Yeah. So what was that again?
042 775 735.
Fantastic. Look, if you're like the rest of us, you're in business, you're looking at expanding, you're looking at consolidating, you're looking at just making sure you're on the optimum. Finances have changed, interest rates have changed over the years, products have changed enormously, haven't they?
Yeah.
Over the years.
Every week, just about we get a new product.
Wow. Give Andrew a call on his number then, and look, have a chat. Definitely worthwhile. I think the benefits of a specialist in the room, and a specialist that's already got business experience, has run business and large, had employees, had to do financing and on equipment and so forth. I really think that's a huge benefit. I'd highly recommend Andrew and Pacific Finance, and thanks so much for coming in again.
Thanks, Michael.